Episode 30, part 1 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters podcast. You had me right, episode 30. We've been doing this for give or take 30 weeks, and we start by thanking our fans, our followers, our subscribers, our viewers, and the most important stakeholders of the game of rugby in Kenya, the players, for supporting us over the last 30 episodes, and we don't take it for granted. So tunasema asante na shukran. Of course, with every passing week, the road to Japan draws closer. As a matter of fact, we started the Rugby Africa Gold Cup yesterday, 24th of June 2017, against the Uganda Rugby Cranes. As much as the result was not what we had wanted as the Kenyan fans, we urge you to continue supporting the Kenya Simbas, to give them the support that they need. And how do you support these guys? Hashtag Road to Japan. We want to see them at the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019, and this is how we are going to be supporting them as they go through the Rugby Africa Gold Cup, and of course subsequently the World Cup qualifiers that are going to be happening next year. Of course, this is episode 30. We're shooting in Kilimani, and this is Nashi official noisemaker
Jiringus Kenyana.
And we're getting to part 1 where we're talking about our feature game of the week. Feature game of the week yesterday was at the RFUEA grounds. Yesterday being 24th June 2017. Kickoff was at 4 p.m. between the Kenya Simbas and the Uganda Cranes. The result, of course, was 33-33.
Yeah.
Stalemate. Goose, what are your thoughts about that game from a technical perspective first?
Well, from a technical perspective, I think, I'd say what we talked about in episode 29, what the Simbas needed to work on, the scrums were a bit improved. Probably the few changes that had happened. So Chisanga coming in at 8. But still our front row, I still have a bit of doubts. I think we should bring in the likes of Katlo. I think you need to bring the likes of him because there's a lot of experience in him. Our racks are still shaky. We still need to really work on that as well. And then our 6 and 7s. Those guys were asleep, but once again, the number 8 had a good day in the office. Uganda 8. They're really operating, man. And again, the last year, Philip Okorach
happened.
The guy really destroyed us, man. But anyway, we were sad. For now, as a fan, I shouldn't be celebrating. This is not a good showing, considering it's a World Cup qualifier match. We should always go for the win. We'll try and win all our games so that we can get the direct slot into the New Zealand
pool. Wow. One thing I can say is that if we get that slot with the way we are playing, first if we're going to get it, it's going to be amazing. But even if we did, with the way New Zealand are playing, it's going to be a problem. I mean, a couple of problems. Yes, our lineouts were good, I won't lie. Simon Mniafu, Oliver Mangeni, they did well in the lineouts. Our breakdowns were shaky. There was only one back row who was contesting the breakdown, and that was Joshua Chisanga. He didn't give us as much offensively as we would have hoped to see from him, but from a defensive standpoint, all the turnovers in the breakdown were Joshua Chisanga's. Our scrums were good. They considered a couple of penalties, about 5-6 penalties of our scrums, which was not too bad. It was a good showing from Kampala, and of course the game against Germany. But the biggest issue for me was the breakdown. Games are won and lost in the breakdown. The number of turnovers from Uganda, these guys were quick to, the back rows were there. We have a big problem at 6 and 7, I won't lie. Yes, Eric Kerry gives us he gives us an option in terms of lineout, but his tackling is very wanting. Marvin Odongo, the 8th man for Uganda, had a field day, as you're saying. His 8th man picks, and he was gaining ground every time they had a scrum, because Kerry was sleeping, for lack of a better word.
Not quick off his feet.
Davis Chenge, on offense, yes, he was good, but again, we were not feeling him at the breakdown. And that's how the work of the back row, because you are a bit mobile. You're not like a second row, you're not a front row.
You're not locked in.
Exactly, you're not locked in. You're a bit mobile. Therefore, you're supposed to be everywhere on the pitch. When a breakdown is happening, you're supposed to be there. So Uganda did that very well. They turned over a lot of our balls. And it was just a bad day in the office for us too, for the Kenyan Simbas.
I think it was a good day for one of the young guys of the team, Simon Mniafu.
Yes.
I was sad that he had to go off injured. I think he had a very good game.
He did have a good game. I also thought Oliver Mangeni had a good game. Curtis Lilako's introduction, like I was telling someone yesterday, I don't believe in this crap that you can't have an all KCB front row, because the truth in the fact of the matter is that they're the dominant park in Kenya.
There's a reason why they're the champions, Kenya Cup champions.
An Enterprise Cup champions. Yeah. So you have Amusala, Karia, and Curtis Lilako, because
it's the best that we have.
Yeah, 1, 2. A case in point yesterday was when Simon Muniafu broke, when Moon broke. It was actually Curtis Lilako who committed and offloaded the ball to Moon. And you remember me telling you just before the Germany test, Curtis only goes into contact when it's necessary.
Not just
he will always play the gap. Yeah. So he'll always, and that's what we need.
And look at who was supporting him. There's no one else apart from Onsom.
That's the other thing. And number 3,
support runs.
Number 3, my other issue was the scrum half. Okay, fine. Onsom wanted to play the whole game. We're having a big issue at scrum half because Samson Onsomo is young. He doesn't. These games that have pressure, because you see what Uganda knew. They knew, just as Chisanga said in episode 29 when he joined us, our backs are electric. So what is any team going to try to do? Choke us at the breakdown. That way you don't
shut down. Prevent our quick balls.
Exactly, prevent the quick balls. Samson Onsomo was the only scrum half available yesterday. He was not getting to the breakdown quick enough to remove the quick ball, and anytime he did remove the quick ball, you saw what was happening. And fine, granted, he was getting tired, but how don't you have a scrum half on the bench? That's another thing the technical needs to be thinking about. Achayo might be injured. Masai, I don't know. The reports coming that he's been dropped for the main team. I don't know how true it is. Bring in Lila Siligwa. Achayo might be injured. Lila has been in the system for a minute, right? You have to have a scrum half because our best bet is to have quick ball. And if the scrum half is tired, we can't have that quick ball. So guys, I think the technical team needs to work on a lot. As a fan, I must say it was a very disappointing performance. We didn't capitalize, and there's one person who told me, who does not watch rugby as much, by the way, who told me it did not take long for me to notice that there's a problem with this team. This team has not played together for long, and this team has not gelled. Therefore, I can tell that there's a problem here.
Leadership on the pitch.
Leadership on the pitch, squad selection, interference, squad selection. But anyway, we can't talk about this too much. All we can do is just keep on hammering the point, and hopefully somebody does listen to us. Leave the technical side from an atmosphere perspective. What did you want? What did you see from the fans?
Fantastic showing from the fans. Place was full by around 3:30. Just surprising. It's quite good actually, because this is the biggest test match that we always have in Kenya. That's the only biggest one. The Germany one, yes, it's a nice test match, but it's not as big as our neighbors.
From an atmospheric perspective, of course, not in terms of ranking.
Definitely. You could see how the Ugandans came, how those guys came in droves.
The
drums, really. And it's a good showing that the game is growing, and it can only get better.
Of course, this is part of the Rugby Africa Gold Cup. You mind telling us the other results for the game that happened?
We had Senegal hosting Zimbabwe. They lost 28-16. 28-16 in favor of Zimbabwe.
So of course Zimbabwe now lead the pack, followed by Kenya and Uganda tied. And then you have Tunisia and Namibia tied because they haven't played. And then Senegal are at the bottom.
Actually, Senegal would be ahead of them for now.
They haven't played. That's why
they'll have a point because of Senegal played Zimbabwe.
Yes, I know.
But now if you need rank, if you don't have any points, 0 points,
let me ask
you just would have 1 point.
You have 0 points and these other guys have played. How are they above? But anyway, that's one has day. That's episode. That has been episode 30. Part 1 of Kenya's Premier Sports Video Podcast, the 3 Quarters Podcast. Kenya's next game is against Tunisia on the 8th of July 2017, and we don't stop asking you guys to come in droves to the IFUBA grounds to support the Kenya Simbas, because as we keep on telling you guys, the Kenya Simbas are indeed the superstars of rugby in Kenya. This is Nash, official noisemaker.
Jerry Bruce Kenyana.
Stay tuned for episode 30, part 2.